So a quick addendum before this video is that one thing that was brought up to me by a maker, thank you A51, is that a very important part about websites and restrictions is the ability to sell Balisong live blades. Something I didn't consider. That said, Squid Industries is in California, and they sell their live blades through Blade HQ and other distributors while they sell all of their trainers through their own website. If you sell trainers only, you don't have an excuse. And if you sell live blades, I think it would still behoove you to have a functioning website. So, anyways, let's begin. Hey everybody, today's video is going to be a little bit different. One of the things I want to talk about is how I feel like a lot of the Balisong community is very much in a bubble. Makers and flippers alike and content creators, we're all in this bubble. And the biggest thing that is most annoying about this bubble is the fact that it revolves around Instagram. I don't like Instagram. And so I wanted to go and look through various Balisong makers' websites because essentially I find that a lot of these are lacking. And so my most recent purchase was the Kanto Origin. Oh, it was a purchase. It was a trade. And so I wanted to see Kanto Group normally sells oils. There's some stuff up here. A Balisong spec sheet. I'll have to check that out. But essentially we have 3 different types of oils and the actual Balisong itself. So on here, high performance trainer, origin features specs, price performance, 70-75 aluminum. So you also have different types. This is 190 for 70-75, 175 for a blemish, and then there's acid wash blemish, which is 180. That's sold out. And so there is some nice stuff. Disclaimer: don't hurt people with this. Here are some specs. It doesn't have the weight, just like the material of it. So I guess we're gonna go to the Balisong spec sheet. Whoa, that's tiny. All right, we're gonna zoom in. I assume these are other Balisongs made by Kanto, but okay, 3.99 blade weight, harbor, neutral minus. I assume minus is like handle bias ish. And so I'll review that later, but I assume this is, so at least there's a spec sheet that's shared. I'm gonna do here now. Some of the best websites are Squid. So Squid right now, okay, so see there's a big push for the Squiddy AL or the Squiddy AL. You can click here, but they have a lot of stuff. You have apparel. So what's interesting about Squid is that they actually have things separated. So here you have trainers. Normally, if you go to trainers, I feel like it'll show you all the trainers here. But if you go here, you can see the collections, like at least on the mobile site. So you can do the Squiddy collection. Now, I will say that one thing that I find frustrating with Squid is that there are so many different types of Squiddies. I had to explain it to someone else. Squiddy with nothing is just the Squiddy with no nose. I don't like it. Squiddy U is blue. Squiddy B is black. Squiddy A is amber. Squiddy C isn't even listed. It's clear. There's a titanium on Squiddy where the hardware is titanium in different colors, but that's not necessarily always clear. And then the Squiddy Al is going to restock soon, and you can go to different collections. Okay, yeah, and then because Squid Industries actually has their shit together. Then you have the Mako bottle opener. Inked is black blade, titanium mod. So I wish there was a little bit better explanation, but for the most part, everything's pretty clear and laid out. And yeah, you can just sort by the different collections. I don't want to see the apparel. I'll show it later. What's actually custom build to order? Oh, that's new. Okay, that's cool. Anyways, well, what I wanted to say is that at some point it becomes technically a different website to get to their live blades. So here it does show you the live blades. There's the create, rakin, crack, rackin, crack off. So here, I guess they don't distribute them themselves. I remember for a long time when I was just getting into the industry, or getting into the Balisong community, I didn't really understand what different things meant. And so I didn't understand why the tsunami was 700, whereas these were like 200. And to me back then, 200 was a lot of money still. 700 was a lot of money. Now I actually have a much better understanding. But so I think Squid internally could have a better explanation on how their different products are and what their marketing is. But for the most part, they're pretty good. They actually, they have a lot of resources, guides for beginners, learn how to flip, and they have ground shipping. Now, MachineWise is, in my opinion, one of the best websites because we're starting with good websites because there are not good websites that I'll get to. So this is cool. While I do think this naming convention was kind of weak, the V2 to Pro explanation is nice. Having some explanation about aftermarket mods, and then here's some Instagram photos that I will eventually load. But what I love, whereas Squid basically has all of their trainers like more or less in stock, you're like, okay, I want a Nautilus. You go to the Nautilus collection, you can see, you can get blemished ones for cheaper. You can get inked, you can get these scales, you can get whatever. You can basically get any Squid product whenever you want, as long as it's a trainer. Live blades you'll have to get usually elsewhere. Here, it'll say when the next drop is. So you just go to the shop, it'll most likely be mostly sold out. So yeah, you'll see hardware sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out, sold out. Everything is sold out. You can go here. It'll give you very, very, very in-depth descriptions about everything. But what's especially nice is that they have product breakdowns, which is really cool because then they give you a little bit more of an explanation about the different products. So if I go in here, product breakdown, it'll explain the Seraph, the Opus, the Slift TV2, the Prisma V2/Pro, and the Prisma. Unfortunately, they don't talk about the Marin, which I wish there was a description where they would have like an explanation about the Marin and what its deal is, because I like to know about stuff. I like to know about the old stuff. However, what's really cool is they still have, is it in here? Nope. Is it in, might actually be in product breakdown. Here it is. Yeah, this is really small on mobile, but on desktop, it'll show you everything, including the Marin and the Marin Light. It does not include the Delta 50, but those are ancient, and so I don't feel like they need to because they're not very common, whereas the Marin is something that's still very often in circulation. They're really expensive though. It's like $700 to $800, and I'm like, is it better than the Seraph? I don't know. And it will. So what's also really cool, is that all of these blades from the Marin onward are all interchangeable blades. The Seraph V1 is not, but they do explain that. And so they'll tell you about the balance and the weight and everything based off of these different blades. And so MachineWise is like really, really great website. Also just a fantastic logo. BB Barfly is a little confusing. So BB Barfly does have information on everything, but I do find myself a little overwhelmed with, one, the names, and two, just, I don't know. There's certain things that are just hard. So for one thing here, it's, okay, Barracuda is like, well, let's start backwards. The BB Barfly, the Firefly, I should say, is like their flagship bottle opener. There's this one. This is the BB Firefly V2. But then there's the BB Firefly Z.X-1. And I was like, what does that mean? It's Talon Series Zen nipple model, or Zen pin model. So first things first. The BB Firefly V2 is on tank pins. The Z.X-1 is on Zen pins. It is also a different blade profile, which is like this Talon one opposed to this traditional bottle opener style. There's also the trainer, but like, why would you get a BB Barfly with thing? So the Barracuda is like a different Balisong from the Firefly, and there are similarities, but there are differences. I've never flipped a Firefly, but I think these two are supposed to be relatively similar. There's also the Pro V3, which is confusing because the Pro V3 is not the same as the Firefly V2. It's like worse. So the BB Barfly Pro V3 are like their ancient, old, not as good ones. And they do have more coming out, like the Wildfly and the Superfly. But I don't, yeah, here's some information about the Superfly. and they'll show you the different models, and there's a video. Oh, that's cool. So this is better than before. They also have an Etsy page. I do wish that it was better explained. Whoa, that's a little difficult to look at. I wish it was just like a product. So if you go to the Firefly, I wish there was a better explanation as to like the difference between the ZX1 versus the Firefly V2. Wait, these are, so this is also, this is Z.X1, but not the Talon model. Whereas the Z.X1 Talon series, and this is not the, I wish it just was like BB Firefly Z or BB Firefly, I don't know. So that's confusing. And again, if you're new, and I was new when I was getting my first, well, I guess it was my third Balisong, but it was I got the Barracuda. It was my third Balisong. I did not understand what this meant. I do love that you can customize your handle color, but it wasn't very clear why something was something or what the difference was. Now I know, oh, tank pins versus end pins. What's the difference? If you're new to this and you're trying to figure out stuff and you're watching my videos, I'll have a whole video series about Balisong terminology breakdown and what one thing means versus the other. But a lot of these don't have that. Next, I want to go to NRB. NRB is a pretty straightforward website. They have some Balisongs. There's the Ultralight, the Koenig, the Slight, and there's pre-orders for the Nemesis V3 as well as the Vortex V3. My one mild complaint, there's also some information here, and a great hardware guide is a bunch of the Balisongs, not even just NRB, but also some BRS ones. So there's the Replicant, the Alpha Beast, and the Basilisk. Oh, the Basilisk is HOM. However, there isn't information about older Balisongs such as the Outcast. Thankfully, you can find specs on Balisongs even if they're not in stock. But I had a really hard time finding information about older Balisongs. All right, next we're going to go to BRS, which I have some thoughts on because this fucking website has music. Fuck me. How do I shut the fuck this? I don't know how to turn off this goddamn music. I find this overwhelming. First things first. There's a lot here. BRS sells more than just Balisongs, so let's go to Balisongs. Oh, thank God it stopped. Oh, okay, cool. So before I was complaining about how it's overwhelming because there's so many different things, I found it really frustrating because it didn't have these breakdowns like Alpha Beast series. Thankfully, all right, my rating of this website has gone significantly up. However, this is still kind of overwhelming. There's so many different versions of Alpha Beast. There's Alpha Beast Acid Kukri. That means that they're Kukri blade and it's acid wash. Alpha Beast Infinity, which is like that rounded handles, which look nice. I wish there was a Chab version of that. Alpha Beast 3.0 Bowie. What is 3.0 versus that? There's the 3.0 with the traditional Alpha Beast blade. There's the Chab limited pilot run. There's the alt, or this is the alt blade, AB 3.0 premium. I don't know what the premium version is. Venom, I think is called, whoa, Infinity Venom. Now that looks sick, actually. Like I would get that if it wasn't so. Now one complaint I do have is that the BRS doesn't have prices listed for the for their knives when they're sold out, and they're almost always sold out on their website because they don't really restock here. So yeah, you have the Channel Alpha Beast. What's the difference between Channel Alpha Beast and Channel Alpha Beast Limited Run? There's the Latchless Chab. I don't know what this one smiley face is. So I could go through and like go through all of these, and I could do some reading. There's just a lot. So let's go back and see. Now replicants are going to be confusing. Also, here's the thing. There's Balisong series. There's Alpha Beast series. There's also Latchless Channel Alpha Beast and Alt Ab, and these are their own series, or how come these three aren't in here and this one here? Replicant series, Carbon Fiber, Premium Rep, Alt Blade, Tanto. This is the regular one. So there's just a lot of variations, and it's kind of overwhelming when you're not really sure. And granted, they're all sold out, so like, what are you gonna do? But then you have the Bare Bones, which is stainless steel, the Tie Bones, which is titanium, and the Chalub, which is Channel Alu Bare Bones. And I guess the original Bare Bones blade versus the Tanto. So those are like the three main series of battle songs that DRS has. But one, their website has fucking music. I hate that. And there's just a lot of differences, and I wish it was better explained without having so many different SKUs. That's when I look at LDY. Website under construction. LDY was a battle song maker that I heard about through the grapevine because I heard that they were super good. But the only way to buy their fucking battle songs was to DM them through Instagram. And I was like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? Thankfully, they now have a website where you can look at the information of their battle songs. They don't have the Vixen, unfortunately. And in order to buy them, you still need to log into Instagram and DM them. They're small production, so I get it, but also like, that like also people are like, oh, but like, you know, they're like these boutique products and whatever, and they're limited run. But the problem with no website is that you have virtually no discoverability because Instagram is only a semi-open platform. You need to have an account in order to look through everything, in order to learn about things, in order to click the posts and things. And also, so many makers don't have pinned posts about their products. And I'm like, please, if you're not going to have a website, have a fucking pinned post or a story reel about your fucking product so I can learn about them. And so for a long time, I couldn't Google LDY because I still don't know what LDY stands for. I know it's something about their name in Chinese, but I don't know what it is. So that's funny and kind of sad. Now, to get further on this point, here is Haystack. Haystack has an about page. And I was told that Haystack was going to get rid of their website because it's not bringing any revenue. But that's bullshit, because here's Devil base tier. And it's $0. Obviously, it's not $0. Obviously, you click these don't have anything. These drop down. They're all the same fucking template. It's all the same store template. It's the same one that Squid Industry uses. There's some information. There's like 10 inches and 4 to 4.68. But I don't know how much this costs. And this is the base tier. But what is the upper tier? Upper tier gets you more color and finish options. Why is that a different SKU? Are these all the same? This is the Devil. And there's these tools that I've never heard anyone speak about. I also don't really know what they do. Like, it's just high quality tools. But it doesn't tell me what they do. And I look at this. I don't know what the fuck this does. But let's forget about that, because Haystack actually has many knives. There's the Devil, there's the Carlo, there's the DMC, there's the Jigsaw, there's now the Thai Jigsaw, there's I think there's another one. There's like Angel, and what's also really confusing is the naming convention that Haystack does, because there's the Devil, but there's also the Devil, and there's also a Witch Devil, or the Jesus Devil, or the Angel Devil. I don't even know. Some of those might have been made up. I'm not sure, but there's not any information about anything that isn't the Devil, and that's confusing. So besides the Devil, on Haystack's Instagram, I have trawled through so many posts. You know how I'm a neurotic person. I've tried to find the specs of so many different battle songs. I can't find any specs for Haystack. And it sounds like I'm digging on Haystack, but he's not the only one. Next we have Fellowship Blades, which for the most part is pretty good. However, the shop is only for things that are currently in stock. When he does restock on knives, you can read about them and everything, but I cannot learn about the specs of the Medusa or the Empusa or the Empress, because there's no information. There's these fucking pry bar toothpicks that sometimes people want. I don't care about those. There's Empress spacers, but they're just spacers. Clicking in on it. There's no fucking store page for this. You can't click in on this. Open a link to a new tab. Okay, there we go. It was just super buggy. So Fellowship Blades has 3 knives, and it's the Medusa, the Empusa, and the Empress. The Medusa is the channel titanium Balisong. The Empress is a sandwich Balisong with a kukri blade, and the Empusa is the Medusa handles with the Empusa blade, or with the Empress blade. But you can't figure that out if you don't already know it. Not from the website. You would, and also like you can't. Oh, and there's also the trainer versions. You can't. So I wish that Fellowship would have a designated like product breakdown page and explanation, like how Machine Wise and to an extent Squid does. Glider for the most part is pretty good. Here you have their Glider main web. They have fantastic photos too. They're really nice. It is a little bit annoying with all the different SKUs. I wish you could just have them all compressed and they all have their different names, but I wish like it was all one fucking thing, and then you could be like, here's the drop down of all their names, or you could just have all of the photos, and that's a little overwhelming, but it does have a really well organized store for the most part. They do separate Arctic 2 and Arctic HD, and there's an explanation about what's the HD. There's the original 4, and there's the Antarctic. Now, I did find the Antarctic versus the Arctic. I think just the naming convention is just bad. Honestly, I think it's just bad. The Antarctic takes the proven Arctic platform to the next level. That's more or less all you need to know. But there's also the Antarctic HD, and then there's no on the website. It doesn't list the titanium Antarctic. They also don't have the Bermuda listed. You have to find that. And there's also the Sahara, which the page just doesn't exist. Yeah, sometimes. Now, there's also a lot of great like other things like the pivot aligner. I use the Indiana John pivot needle. A lot of people really like the Bally driver, and I have the bit holder. So there's a lot of cool accessories. And so for the most part, Glider's fine. I just wish that instead of giving a unique SKU for all of these things, I don't even know what SKU stands for. It's basically just like every item having a unique like identity number. And so it's cool. It's like mostly fine. I just wish it was like more compressed because it's overwhelming. All right, Nabali's is very good for free plastic case. All right, Nabali's is for the most part pretty good about stuff, especially for being an introduction level Balisong stuff. Discounted Balisongs. What's the discounted Balisongs? Okay, they're all sold out. And then I want a Bushings buddy, but oops, that site is dead. All right. Bushings buddy. I don't know if you can buy it. Marbles, FAQ. Here's a video about things and some things. Well, let's go to the Balisong trainers. Here you have a bunch of trainers. They don't sort by different things. Also, my big complaint is I have no idea what the difference between the G10 spanner, this isn't even spelled correctly, the G10 spanner, ultra lightweight Bally bearing CNC durable crowbar tool, and the G10 multifunctional tool wrench slotted screwdriver beautiful and practical. I don't know what the difference is between these two. I have tried to figure it out. One of them is $3 more. I still don't know. Unfortunately, they don't separate the Vulp from the Trident, from the Hydra, from the Morse, from the Lightning. And so that's a little bit overwhelming. And then these two, I still don't know what the fuck the difference is. There's a second thing for Butterfly Knife. Whoa, are they making live blades? Okay. The Vulp gets its own section because the Vulp is special. Alright, now JK, one of the most popular for some fucking reason, I don't know why, has no fucking difference between apparel, accessories, and knives, and only these are knives. Everything else, like these are, I guess you can say these are accessories. If these are under knives, I would accept the spacers and the scales under knives. But like sheaths and fucking hoodies, this is all on the same store page. There's the Orca V1, the Orca V2, the Embargo, the Monarch V1 and V2, and there's the Light Tech, which I basically know nothing about, because no one has a light tech. It's like hard to figure out. And motherfucking JK only does lottos, and you have to enter through contacting or like DMing, and it's just so, it's so fucking stupid. And yeah, he's this high end thing, but like again, discoverability is something I care a lot about, and there's no fucking information anywhere. I'm pushing the length of this video. It's getting quite long. Mostly I'm just complaining about the fact that there's just no discoverability, and even if you're a high-end balisong maker, you should still have your high-end balisongs be informative. Actually, that reminds me, Hybel. Hybel is fantastic because you can you go to his website. Oh, this is ugly. I'm not gonna lie, this is an ugly looking website, but at least you can find out information on all of his pre-existing knives. So you can shop latest, and you can see that, oh, he actually has a bunch of customs on sale. Wow, big sale. And different accessories, and it's separated. How fucking nice is that? But then you want to like learn more about each knife. Whoa, my God. Oh, there's Adam Hybel and his wife. And you can learn about, I'm like, okay, I want to learn about the Sapient. I don't have a Sapient. I have a Valor. I want to learn more about the Sapient or the Menace. And what's beautiful, like, okay, let's say the Menace. I don't know anything about the Menace. Let's go in. There's a fucking video in here that shows the things. It even says how many he's made. He's made 20, he made 95 of these. Why did I say 20? He made 95 of these in 2022. Discontinued it. All of these specs in here. There's a bunch of images. I'm like, great. Thank you, Hybel. Thank you for having all of your information about your old knives too, so that on the secondhand market, I don't have to fucking trawl through like 8 years of fucking Instagram posts. Flip forward. Okay, actually, I was at Zippy. Zippy is good. Mostly his aftermarket mods. He organizes it by makers. You can also organize by like which types. I think that might have changed. Nope, you can. Maybe that changed. And then you can also go to trainers. So you're like, I want that Cycloid HD, or I want the Cycloid. Oh, 2.1. I didn't know there was a 2.1 now. So that's cool. And here's the video. He actually also makes videos for like how to install. So like Zippy's fucking goated in my opinion. FlipForge has a great website for the most part. Oh, new duotone. Yay, cool. All right, let's go to the customizer. You can choose between these two. Let's say I want to do the edit. Oh, and also there's this graph. That's great. And then you get to choose. I want to do this. I want to do this one. No, I want to do this one. And you get to fuck around, and it's beautifully visual. And you're like, no, I don't want any of that. And you just fuck around and make your own design. And you're like, okay, I want my colors to be magenta. I don't know if it'll show. Yeah, you can't get to see that, unfortunately. But for the most part, it's fucking good. Some of these are older knives, but hey, at least you can find the fucking specs. So for the most part, Black Balisong is good. Anyways, if you're a Balisong maker, I'm sorry this is a half-hour video and it's mostly me going through a bunch of different websites. But if you are a Balisong maker and you're thinking, I want to do things and blah, 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 I'm going to make an Instagram page. Do not follow the survivorship bias of saying, oh, this is how all the top people do it. I still cannot find the fucking specs of the Gigas. WB Concept doesn't have a website. It has a private Facebook group. And I still don't know the specs of the Gigas. There's just a bunch of other things. Like, I don't think Hanson Metals has a website. Static Knives doesn't have a website. Any of the rep makers, people who like Foxfire Factory and MC Minecraft Chicken God and MCK, who I learned are two different people. Oops. So shout outs to when I said that Minecraft Chicken God did an anno of my Omeme. That was just wrong. That was MCK, who is a different person. None of these people have websites. Oh, actually, Frankenforge does have a website, but not for any of his rep parts, just for his live blades, which are the Voltaic, the Galvanus, and the Amp. And I wish there was a bigger description about explaining the difference between the Galvanus and the Amp and why you would want one versus the other, whereas I feel like Machine Wise has a pretty decent explanation of things like that. So yeah, websites can be free. You don't need much. Having a website gives you discoverability, from people who are not in that Instagram bubble. Not everyone uses Instagram. Not everyone wants to use Instagram. I don't want to use Instagram. So have a fucking website is the short and sweet of it all. Have the specs of your various products, including old ones. Explain the differences when you update things. Explain the differences, like if you have a change log. Like Zippy has a fucking change log on his fucking website. Look at this. Look at this. Full cycloid V2 change log. That's perfect. Thank you, Zippy. Anyways, so yeah, I have a lot of strong opinions about this, and I think that makers should have more information readily available online without having to trawl through Instagram, because even then, not all of them do. And also, a bunch of makers are not good at responding. I have tried to Spasm Fingers. I've tried to reach out to Spasm Fingers for mod work, and he was like, sure, and then didn't give me more information. Tay Flipper, the Calico and the Tay Flipper are very fun. Oh, I hear the Calico is really fun. I will get one soon. The Tay Flipper is very fun. The Calico, my friend ordered a Calico. It came brand new out of box, warped. Like, if this is the side, it was like bent like this, and it's still flipped. But imagine your Balisong just being like warped like this, and being like, hey, I bought this brand new. Can I get this fixed or resent? And he hasn't responded. Tay Flipper, I hear he's a really cool guy, but he's not super responsive. Log Designs has never responded to me. Haze Tech has never responded to me. Spasm Fingers, I've tried to email and DM, has barely responded. So if you're a maker, let the website do most of the talking, because not everyone wants to be not everyone wants to DM everyone like me. So I have thoughts and opinions, and I think that I am right. Make a website. You can have a free website. You shouldn't, but you can have a free website if you're selling a product. The basics of selling a product is to have the product be readily be knowable and understandable, and knowing what it is and maybe the differences between other things, and just having it be like simple but descriptive. Like my biggest issues with Glider is that it's just a lot, and with BRS this isn't at least too bad. This is actually like the minimum number of things that it needs to be broken down into. But then fuck this. Shit. All the information about like the reps is different and weird and confusing. So anyways, have a goddamn website. Have a fucking website. If you want to see a good website, Machine Wise's is essentially near perfect. I wish there was more info on the Marin and maybe the Delta 50. Halm has thankfully gotten better. Hybel, while not very attractive looking, is perfectly informative. Zippy's is great. So yeah, make a fucking website. Anyways, if you want to hear more about my thoughts on things in the community, well, I don't spill hot goss or whatever, but if you want to know my thoughts on my Balisongs, my opinions on things, comment in the video, and also like and subscribe. Check out also in the description, there is a coffee page, a couple of bucks. I'm not asking for much, but I do this as a side thing, and it's just out of my time, and but also, if you like this content, let me know in comments by liking and by my monetary support, because it does legitimately help me keep this channel going, because while I do this for fun, it is a lot of time and energy and effort, and there's only so much I can put into my time into things, and yeah. So anyways, thanks again. See you in the next video, and build the fucking website if you're selling a Balisong.